In the Lasha Shanti village of Entanzo, there lived a kind and gentle farmer named Kwabena Mensa. He worked his cocoa farm from sunrise to sunset, but his beautiful wife, Ama Serwaa, met his hard work with nothing but scorn. She would look at his simple clothes, wrinkled from a long day's labor, and mock him. In front of the neighbors, she would raise her voice, her words like sharp stones. And sometimes, when anger flared in her heart, she would even raise her hand against him. The villagers would watch, their heads shaking in sadness, and whisper amongst themselves, "Why does she treat such a good man this way? The gods do not smile on such pride." One market day in bustling Kumasi, after Kwabena had sold his cocoa beans, he sat carefully, counting his earnings. Suddenly, Ama Serwaa snatched the money right from his hands. "This is my house too," she declared for all the year. "I will spend this as I please," while she adorned herself with new jewelry and fine kente cloth. Kwabena walked home with empty hands and a heavy heart, his feet bare against the dusty road. The market women saw it all, murmuring, "A wife who shames her husband in public brings only curses upon her own home." The disrespect did not go unnoticed by the village elders. Nana Jha, a respected queen mother whose wisdom was as deep as her wrinkles, summoned Ama Serwaa. Sitting beneath the ancient baobab tree, she said, "My daughter, a woman who disrespects her husband invites misfortune. Humility is the most beautiful necklace a good wife can wear." But Ama Serwaa just laughed, folding her arms defiantly. "Old woman," she scoffed, "times have changed. I am not a slave to any man." When the Akwesiti festival arrived, the village echoed with the sound of drums and joyful dancing. Kwabena, ever hopeful, gave Ama Serwaa money to prepare a feast for their guests, but her pride was a hungrier guest than any visitor. She spent every last coin on new clothes for herself, wanting to be the most admired woman at the festival. When friends and family arrived at their home, they found no food, no drink, only an empty hearth. The drummers paused, the dancing slowed, and a murmur rippled through the crowd. What kind of wife feeds her own pride instead of her household? One evening, as the sun bled orange and purple across the sky, Ama Serwaa went to fetch water from the sacred Ofin River. As she knelt by the water's edge, a golden light shimmered, and from the depths rose the river goddess, Asuanayam. Her voice was like the gentle flow of the river, yet it carried immense power. "Ama Serwaa," she warned, "your heart is heavy with pride. If you do not change your ways, sorrow will flood your home like a river bursting its banks." "Erigally, Ama." Serwaa tossed her head. "I am the most beautiful woman in no spirit can frighten me." The goddess looked at her with pity and vanished back into the water, her final warning lingering in the air. Finally, Kwabena's quiet patience wore thin. His heart could bear no more. One morning, before the rooster crowed, he packed his few belongings into a small bag and walked away, not looking back. Alone, Ama Serwaa's pride quickly turned to bitter loneliness. Without Kwabena's hands to tend the farm, weeds choked her cocoa trees. Without his skill, the roof began to leak. Soon, hunger became a constant visitor in her once proud home. The very neighbors she had looked down upon now looked at her with pity. Her wealth, built on Kwabena's sweat, vanished like morning mist. Her fine clothes grew faded, and her body grew thin and weary. One day at the market, she tried to hold her head high as she once had, but her strength failed her. She faded from hunger, collapsing onto the dusty ground. The same women who had once warned her rushed to her side, shaking their heads sadly and whispering, "Pride has no cooking pot." Humbled and broken, Ama Serwaa finally understood her folly. She journeyed until she found Kwabena, and there she fell to her knees before him, tears streaming down her face. "Forgive me, my husband," she pleaded. "I was blind with pride. I see now that without you, I am nothing." Seeing the true change in her heart, Kwabena gently lifted her up and forgave her. They returned to Entanso together, not as master and servant, but as partners. Ama Serwaa became known for her kindness and respect, a living testament that a woman's true beauty lies not in her jewels, but in the peace she brings to her home. For pride destroys, but humility builds. Thank you for joining us on this journey into Ghanaian folklore. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, and subscribe for more tales. From around the world,